What do you do when you get a cosmetic product that is completely shattered and unusable? Well, you fix it. That's what you do. So one of my favorite things to do as a budget conscious person is to save things that would otherwise be thrown away, and anyone else would throw this away. Now, while I do want a replacement from the company because this is not what I paid for, I'm going to see if I can salvage it. I might not be able to save this, but we're going to try. So what we're going to do is, first step, you're going to go to the Dollar Tree and you're going to buy yourself one of these mixing tool sets. These are in the craft section. They are meant for coloring resin or probably just like mixing paint or whatever you like to do. But this is what we're going to buy. So the thing that you want out of there is this little silicone cup. These are pretty much going to be useless for this because they are not hard. They are too floppy. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to buy one of these palette knife kits from the Dollar Tree as well. You get 3 of them for $1.25. And what we're going to do with this is utilize this flat spatula, or if you would prefer, you can also use this spatula. I would much prefer this guy, but that's up to you. Now, a completely optional step is to pick up something like this from the Dollar Tree. This is an acrylic board. You do not have to pick this up if you don't want to. I find that using this to sort of break up the clumps of the mixture with the palette knife really helps with the final consistency of the product that you're trying to save. If you can't find this, there are some clear stamp blocks, and actually let me find those because I do have them. I did buy them, and I'll show you what those look like. But you can really use any flat surface. I would just really recommend something like acrylic or plastic rather than like something paper, but you could use like a paper plate or like an actual plate. Just be careful, it's like not for food. But let me go find the other pieces, and you might have something laying around that you could use, like an old piece of glass or a lot of different things. So let me go see if I can find those and I'll show you. Okay, so these are the 2 stamp blocks that I found at the Dollar Tree. So there's this one and then there's this one. You don't really need the grid for this. I did buy these for little foundation mixing blocks. Actually, that's also why I purchased these. So I'm going to end up keeping these in my beauty tools, and when I have a foundation that's too dark or too light or needs to be mixed with something else, then I can just use this little plate to do so. But for right now, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use these guys. We're going to use this. And then you're going to want some rubbing alcohol. This, I believe, is 80% or 70% rubbing alcohol. Just whatever is fine. The lower the percentage, the longer it's going to take to evaporate out. But that's fine. This is fine. It doesn't make a difference. So now we have all of our tools. We are going to take our damaged product and we are going to scrape it out and put it into the little cup. Okay, so I have all of my damaged product out. There's going to be some like little bits and bobs that you can't get out of here. That's fine. What we're going to do next is we're going to spray this down with alcohol, and I'm going to completely wipe this out and clean this. You want the bottom tray to be completely clean. You don't want any residue at all. Okay, so now I've completely cleaned out my receptacle. I've wiped it out with a paper towel. I'm going to spray this with rubbing alcohol and I'm going to let it sit. You want to make sure that there's not any kind of like slickness on the actual pan. This has a little bit of slickness to it, but I don't think I can get that completely off. So I'm just going to have to deal with it. So I'm just going to spray this and then we're going to rub it with another paper towel. And then I'm just going to let it sit and dry. And while that is drying, we'll prepare the mixture to go back inside. After you've put the rubbing alcohol on this and set it to dry, don't touch the bottom of the pan. Your oils will stop the mixture from sticking to the pan. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our little mixture here and we're gonna put rubbing alcohol in it until it's like a cookie dough consistency. You really just want to make sure that it's liquid enough that you can kind of scrape it into the pan and then form it back into a flat surface. So I've actually decided I'm going to take mine to about a cake batter consistency, and then I'll show you what that looks like after I'm done mixing in the alcohol. So this is probably a bit too loose. It's like fluffy, but this will work just fine. So I've mixed it up now in my little thingy. And this actually seems like it's going to be a little bit small for what I want to do. So I'm going to use my large acrylic board. Okay, so I took the stuff off of the acrylic thing, and I'm just going to dump this onto here. So now what I'm going to do is, you can completely skip this step if you would like, but I'm going to take the paste and sort of just go like this and get out all of the lumps. And of course it's kind of a lumpy mixture to begin with, right? So you're just gonna have to deal with it as it is. So that's gonna probably be as good as I'm gonna get. Now I'm gonna scrape this off, and I'm gonna put this back into the original pan. All right, so with my little knife, I'm just gonna spread this around and have it be as even as possible in the pan. All right, so that is as even as I'm gonna get it. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to try to find something that is roughly the same diameter as the size of my pan that I can use to press this down. And what you're going to do is press with a paper towel, and that is going to remove a lot of the alcohol out of the mixture. I have this from the Dollar Tree, and it does fit the pan almost absolutely perfect, so I'm going to use this. So I'm probably going to end up having to do this off camera, but what I'm going to do is lay the paper towel down on the top of my pan, and then use my item to squish down and flatten. And what this is going to do is, it's going to even out all of the mixture that we have in here, and it is also going to wick away that extra moisture and press everything down into the pan. So I actually had to switch what I was using to do this. I switched to this item because it was just slightly smaller than the pan. You can kind of see that it came up a little bit on the sides there, but that's okay. And what you want to do is, you just want to apply gentle pressure at first. Keep applying, keep applying, keep applying, keep squishing down, 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 down. You want to keep condensing the item, the mixture that you've put in here. And I just keep moving around my paper towel, and it just keeps absorbing the alcohol that's in here. So I'm just putting gentle pressure. You don't want to push too hard, especially if the item that you're using to push is slightly smaller than your pan, because it's just gonna squish up all over the sides, and you don't want that. But you should be able to see the texture of the paper towel that you're using on the top of your pan. So I've basically done this now until I've run out of room on my paper towel. And I'm gonna go onto another paper towel and just keep pressing out as much moisture as I possibly can. As you can see, the amount of alcohol left behind is becoming almost non-existent. So I'm just gonna stop here because there's no point in continuing on. So now what I'm gonna do is, I'm just going to take this compact, I'm just gonna wipe off the edges around just to clean it. And now I'm going to let this sit out and dry. I would let it sit a few hours, overnight, what have you, but you can't use this until it is dry. So for the sake of this video, I have swatched this, even though this is not completely dry. I did take a chunk of it out with my paper towel, so be careful while it is still drying. It is not completely solid while it is in this state, but I swatched it on my hand. It is a little crumbly right now. Once it's dry, it should solidify a bit more. It may always be a tiny bit more crumbly than you're used to, only because we've now screwed with it. We've saved a cosmetic that would have otherwise gone into the landfill and not be used. And to me, that's a win. Even if it's a little bit crumbly, it's still worth it to me, because I get to use a whole product that was going to get thrown away. So this is a great way to save broken cosmetics. This is a great way to save eyeshadows that come busted in a palette that you really wanted. Even if you get a replacement, you can still fix that eyeshadow. But yeah, so we've saved a cosmetic and hopefully saved you money. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!